In this video, I'm going to attempt to create the absolute largest build I've ever attempted in my creative world. So far, we've got plenty of villages, a big stinking farm, and our newest addition, this gothic style city, but we don't have any mother humping empires yet, do we? So it's time to get started, mate. All right, and here we are back in the creative world. First of all, of course, we need to find a spot where we want to start building this empire, okay? Dude, I'm kind of scared. I don't know, man. I have no idea how I'm going to build this, so we seem to be kind of sticking, like keeping all the builds close together. So I feel like we should probably choose somewhere that's going to be adjacent to an existing city. Maybe we could finally explore these plains up here. I reckon this would be quite a nice spot for an empire. Obviously it's a bit hilly. We're going to have to do some terraforming as per the usual. But dude, this is looking pretty good. We're definitely going to have to probably remove a bunch of this forest to make room for this because it's going to be pretty big, I think. All right, well, honestly, let's just get straight into it. Apologize if you can hear like crinkling sounds. James is hiding behind the wall just watching me as I record. You gonna come say hello? All right, so some little lumps and bumps here and there are gonna be perfectly fine, but I mainly want to address this situation up here. We've got quite a big hill up here, which, I mean, it would be pretty cool to try and work around that. Honestly, all right, maybe we just try and work around the existing terrain and see what we can do, and we'll flatten it if we need to. But one thing actually I definitely want to do, I want to grab the script brush tool here and set this to clear foliage, and we're going to start getting rid of some of these trees around here, just because I want some more area to work with. Now, I don't know how far, I honestly have no idea. I want this build to be massive, okay? And I don't know how big that actually is going to be. So I just want to give myself plenty of room. We're also going to get the biome painter tool here. We're going to set this to plains and just change all of this forest grass over to plains grass, so it's all nice and uniform. Okay, now we do actually have a couple of like little stuff going on here with the landscape, so let's actually just fix those up. Let's get our elevation tool and we're just going to fill in all of those gaps around the place. Yeah? This one? That's not Cheerio, that's Nutri-Grain. Okay, that's looking a bit better now. Of course, we're going to grab the painter tool. Let's replace all this stone and crap with grass. There we go, that's looking good. Oh, and I didn't even realize there's a little village in here too. Oh, that would be cool. That could be part of like my idea. Basically, we have this empire, like big castle thing, and then surrounding it, we have, villages. Dude, it's gonna be pretty crazy. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but yeah. All right, so that is our landscape there that we have to work with. Obviously quite hilly, but I think we could maybe make this work. I'm hoping. It's definitely gonna turn out a lot cooler if we can make it work with this terrain. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I did, after this, go ahead and spend the next 4 hours building crap, and it just did not look good, man. So we're back on the drawing board. This is the terrain as well now. I've just made this flat area to kind of add the back middle, like tallest structure, I guess. So originally I was going with like a kind of quartz stone and deep slate block palette for like a royal kind of theme. But now, oh, man, I just could not make it work. So I'm gonna stick to my roots, and I'm gonna build mainly like kind of using this kind of block palette, like stone, wood, yeah. So hopefully I can make that work, because wow, that sucked. So I'm actually going to smoothen off the rest of this terrain here because it's still quite bumpy. And let's just head down here and get started. And I think the easiest way to do this would be to kind of build a bunch of assets that we can then kind of paste around everywhere and then connect them all together with other stuff. Honestly, I have no idea, okay? I have not built an empire or anything like that, and this is turning out to be quite difficult, man. So yeah, up here you can kind of see the style that I was going with, and yeah, we're just getting rid of that, man. Okay, so to get this started nice and easily, the shape tool is going to be our lord and savior here. So let's get out the old cuboid. We're going to paste that down, change the block of course to stone, and we're going to figure out a width here. I'm thinking maybe like 15, and then we're going to scale that height up quite a bit as well. So this is going to be one of the tower's kind of designs. Okay, let's paste that in. And now up at the top, I want to create our like castle crenellations, I guess. All right, so for the top design, let's get this figured out here. Firstly, I reckon we just stack this down, and then we try and kind of figure out like a design that's gonna work with this. Obviously, that's not gonna work because that's freaking even numbers, man. What am I thinking? That's not gonna work either. Oh man. Yeah, this is actually turning out to be the most challenging build I've ever made. Like, I've never actually had to completely redo everything before. Let's try something more like this. Just every one block, we'll have a gap like this. And let's see what we can do with like this. So I reckon underneath here, we could definitely have some stairs for a little bit of, you know, something interesting. Oh, and I feel like I want this whole like top bit to stick out an extra block just because it's kind of small for the area that we're working with, you know, for the size of the tower, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so that would mean if we went ahead and cloned this onto the other side, it would be something like that. So we've got that kind of corner bit there taken out. What we might actually do is I think I want to have that corner in. That gives us something like that, which I think will be quite nice. And we could even have this kind of, maybe even a bit more gradually be like supported like that. I reckon that's going to look pretty cool. Now what we can do is just, select this area and then we can just stack this down to there. We do need to figure out what we're going to do with the corners because obviously that's not going to be joined up, which is, yeah, that is looking pretty cool. I don't know how we're going to like kind of match that elegance on the top here. Maybe. What if we had stairs in there? I don't think I want to go too like crazy with the details because this structure is going to be so large. I feel like less is more in that kind of regard, you know? But what I am thinking, maybe some walls in here would be a nice detail. I know I just said I don't want to add too many details, but I just want to see how this looks. That's all right. That could work. All right, let me just try copying this entire thing onto this side here and see how it looks so far as like a completed thing. Oh, that looks quite like cool. All right, yeah, that is a pretty cool design for the tower there. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, of course, let's get on to detailing the rest of this. So I'm thinking some big archways might look nice for this. And I reckon maybe 2 side by side could work pretty well. So let's get maybe something like that and that there. Might actually even make these a little bit slimmer like that. There we go. Now at least we have 3 blocks in between each section. And then as for the actual arches, we could probably just add in some simple stairs like that. Now something else I did want to try as well was adding like an external bit, you know, around this for some extra depth to kind of like frame it. Let's clone this over to the other side. Bang, look at that. That looks awesome, dude. Now I reckon we could alternate this detail. So we kind of have this segment of detail. Then below this, we could have maybe some like small windows like this. Yeah, that's gonna be some cool detail, just kind of alternating those around the place. We need to add something to this, maybe. Let me crack out the odd spruce. Man, I have not used spruce in like a while for a main kind of build, but I think it's time. What if we just get a simple little bit of a window design, kind of like that? Yeah, I reckon that could just add that extra little touch, just, you know, extra depth as well. That's looking pretty cool. All right, so there it is. That is looking, man, now I don't know how I feel about it, but I think we'll just leave it there for now because I think it is time to move on to kind of expanding this, you know, instead of just being one big stinking ugly looking tower like this, we need to start adding more stuff. And this is where it gets very hard, okay? Like I want this thing to be like a big congealed mass of towers and roofs and just like bits of wood and stone everywhere, but I just don't know really how to do that because I've never done that before. So it's definitely going to be extremely challenging to get this right. So I think first of all, this tower definitely isn't tall enough. I think it needs to be quite a bit taller in order for us to kind of add more buildings and stuff onto this. So I feel like that should be a decent height for now. I'm going to stack this down to the ground. So on this side, let's get just a standard like stair roof like this going. I'm going to use the clone tool to try and speed this up. So let's actually select all of this. We're going to move this out quite a bit out here for now. Let's figure out the actual building size. So let's go ahead and place down another one of these. And I want to get it in the exact same spot as the tower there. So now let's reduce the height. Let's maybe get it up to there. Okay, I think that's going to be decent for now. And then we're going to rotate this and I think maybe make it a little skinnier. This might not make sense right now, but trust me, it's going to. Let's get our roof here. We're going to move this up quite a bit. Now we're going to have to do a little bit more cloning to get this roof sticking out a ways. Yeah, that's perfect right there. And we're going to be using spruce for the main kind of body of the roof. I'm going to clone it on the other side as well. And I'll probably get another roof added. Well, I will get another roof added on here. I think this one's going to be a bit steeper, like a steeper style roof. So I'm thinking this will end up looking a bit like this. Yeah, like that. That's going to be That's going to be quite steep, but it should work. I may also end up moving all of this down a little bit because I do want to have those details up there. I feel like that's looking quite nice. So yeah, I'm going to get all of these things that I just mentioned done as a time lapse. So let's get to it. All right, so first and bloody well foremost, I got to work on those stinking roofs, getting some gables slapped on so it isn't so plain and boring. And then I got into creating the white terracotta walls down below. The windows and other details took a bit to figure out, but once I was happy with it, I continued with the side walls along with adding several supports underneath. Now, as for this stone area below, I felt some big old arches would look nice, and once that was done, I headed back to the middle area, added one of these buildings we just completed below, and got to work on the pointier roof above. I also duplicated what we made on the left side over to the right side. Man, I'm not kidding when I say that this shit is hard. Dude, like, just getting this structure alone, it was like a freaking challenge, man. So the next question is, where the hell do we go from here, okay? Obviously, this structure is pretty big, but it's nowhere near the final size of the entire kind of massive buildings that I'm, like, wanting, I guess. Ooh, okay, honestly, I just, you know, got an idea in my little head, okay? I'm thinking what we could do from here, we could extend this out that way, like to there, and add another one of these towers on, and then, I don't know, figure it out from there. So we're gonna get rid of this arch. Let's just make this back into like a full wall here. Just with the old bloody stack tool. Stack him right bloody down. Oh, and how is this gonna work? Oh, I know exactly how this is gonna work. Okay, so we're gonna get like a big, thick, basically wall going like that. Let's stack this out to about yay. We're also going to make sure that this is touching the bottom because we don't want whatever the hell's happening there. Now on top of here, we'll add our same kind of like design as this, I reckon. So let me copy a segment of this here, and we need to paste this on probably there. Now what we're going to do, well, first we're going to clone this little bit and put it right there. But now what we can do, we're going to grab the stack tool. What the hell? Okay, there we go. Let's grab the stack tool. We're going to select this selection and just start freaking scrolling our little hearts out all the way down here. And bang, there is our wall. Let's get the tower. I probably should have saved a copy of this before I kind of mangled it. But, oh well, what can you bloody do? Okay, there we go. There is our tower. What I'm actually gonna do now is select this and save it as a blueprint so that we can easily just grab this whenever we want, because I have a feeling we're probably gonna use this tower design quite a few times throughout this build. So make sure everything's selected. We're gonna do Control-C and then Control-P and save it as a blueprint. Okay, now with our tower at this point, what we're gonna do is actually lower this quite a bit because, what the fuck? Come on, you bastard. Select the whole bloody thing. Okay, and let's move it down. We don't want it to be, you know, at the same height. We want this to be basically the tallest point of everything. I'm thinking a bit more of a modest height is gonna be like right there. Paste him right there. And then, yeah, what I was thinking is we just grab this part here and we just stack this across. Of course, it doesn't line up perfectly, but that could be pretty cool. I mean, I feel like we're probably actually just gonna add another thing here or something. So, I mean, you know what? We'll leave it there for now, just so we don't forget about it in case if we actually need it. Oh, and look at that. That lines up perfectly as like a nice little doorway. Hell yeah. Okay, we just need to fix this up. All right, and then we're gonna get this kind of stuff going on this side here. And bang, dude, look at that. We're expanding. We are expanding our crap out here. I'm gonna stack this all the way down to the bottom. Dude, this thing... This thing's gonna be ridiculously massive. I'm not even kidding. Look at the size of it already, man. Like, just look with the ortho camera mod at how much space this takes up. Oh my god. This is ridiculously huge, man. It's just... I've never built something this big before. Well, I have, but not this, like, crazy detailed, you know? Like, I've done my megalophobia builds, but this is just on a whole nother level, man. Oh, now what I'm thinking what actually might make this look really cool is having a roofed section across this here. I think we're gonna have to do that. Which is kind of annoying because all of these details I've added are gonna get covered up by this freaking roof. So that's actually a little bit annoying, but that's okay. That's just the price you pay. So let's start figuring this out. I reckon we're gonna get this pretty tall, maybe up to about here. And then I'm just gonna add like a nice kind of like circular, like semi-circular style kind of roof. Oh, and I did forget to mention, I added like a blackout behind all the windows because, I mean, if it wasn't obvious already, we're not doing interiors, man, okay? It's just gonna take way too long, man. And like this project's already way past my normal scope of builds, if that makes sense. Now, actually, a way that we could get the shape of this roof down nice and easily is going to be with the old path tool. What we can do, let's create those 2 points. I'm actually just going to do that. Now what we do, we get the path tool and make sure we set it over to a Bezier curve. Then we're going to select these 2 points, go back to this one and add a middle point and make sure it's in line with these ones. And then we're just going to move this up. And you can see there, that's giving us pretty much the exact shape that we're after. We can also choose to use stairs and slabs there, and that's going to give us an even smoother roof. That is looking sweet, man. So let's change this over to our spruce wood. Bang. And we're going to paste that in. Oh, dude, that looks so good right there for bloody no work. Look at that. So next what we do, we just replace those, and then we just simply grab the old stack tool, make sure we get everything selected, and we just start freaking scrolling our little hearts out. Bang. Look at that. There's the roof. She's already bloody done, mate. It's just that good. God, where would I be without Axiom? I would be on the freaking streets right now, man. I would be... Like, imagine doing all this crap with World Edit, man. It's just not feasible. But, like, that's just so good, man. Okay, so that's our roofed... well, our roof for the roof section done. We, of course, need to get the supports added in as well. Let's just add those on and have another squiz at how that looks. Please line up, please. Oh, that's all right. We can make it work like that. Take a look from afar. Yeah, that's looking pretty good right there. That's yeah, it's pretty good. Sorry, I don't know what happened just then. Okay, bang. Copy it onto the other side. I feel like we definitely need probably some fence gates in between here. And that does need to overhang as well, just a little bit there. Let's get the old spruce fence gates and do something like this. Clone all of this crap onto the other side again. Bang, there we have it. Roofed section of the wall here, done. That's looking awesome, dude. Now, where do we go from here? Jesus Christ. I feel like we should probably establish like the outer perimeter, but I don't want to like limit ourselves. I just want to keep going as much as we can. You know what I'm saying? Okay, no, I've got it. Okay, I just had to sit there for a minute and think about it. But what we do, we select this part of the roof here. Bang. That's going to be our smaller version of this, like, house building. Is that too small, though? That's too small. It's too small. We need to get more like that, I think, is actually going to be quite nice there. Please don't tell me that's the exact same size that I had. No, I think that's actually bigger. Okay. And then what we do, we go right in the middle of this here, and we smack it in. We smack him in right here. Scroll up a ways. Maybe actually... like there. And we have like a kind of like a tower, but like a house. There we go. Okay, now what we do, we stack all of this along till we reach here, of course, and bang. Now, of course, we need to add in like these kind of walls and stuff, like so. We can use the extrude tool here. Dude, such a freaking time saver. Look at this bad boy. Like you can just, oh, it's just insanely good. Like I always harp on about how good Axiom is. Like I'm actually like sponsored by them or something, but I'm not. Like the amount of free like advertising I'm giving to them is just kind of crazy, but I mean, they deserve it with these tools they've made. It's just, it's seriously, it just makes Minecraft building completely, like a completely different game. Like I would not be able to get this kind of size of a build done, literally. Just, I wouldn't be able to. We need to figure out how big we want this, and then it's going to go down to like another stone kind of tower like we've done over here. See, we've got the house part, and it goes down to the stone tower. So I reckon we extend him down to about yay, and let's start figuring out our pillar situation as well. Yeah, dude, that's gonna look awesome. We can kind of build off that too. We can add some more houses, and I just wanna go crazy with it. Honestly, what we could even do with this is move this whole thing over and add two points. That might actually look super cool. Let's select this whole thing again, and we want to move that corner to be in the middle like that. Then we're going to clone this whole thing. Dude, I might be cooking right now. Just you wait and see. Smack that on right there. Bang. Double jointed. We're kind of going crazy with it. And the roof's already good too. We don't have to fix it. Okay, that's actually so cool. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to continue doing this as a time lapse. After that, I'm going to sit here for probably another 30 minutes and figure out where to go from here. So, let's get to it. Continuing on, I added all of the wall and window designs as well as the big stone supporting tower below. I then just felt like adding another one of these here, as well as extending it a bit longer. I felt it was a pretty good spot to add it in, so, you know, why the hell not? I also forgot to show in the time lapse for some reason that I actually duplicated all of this over to the other side as well. I wasn't really planning on having all of this be symmetrical. That's the word I'm trying to say. That's crazy, dude. Compared to what I had before, like that you guys didn't see, this is like 100,000 times better. I'm not even kidding. I also just realized we need to extend all this out to freaking, you know, make sense here. Out to there. There we go. That's a lot better. Now, once again, where the bloody hell do we go from here? Actually, what I want to do is start adding in some walls, okay? And I want to show you a really cool trick. If you forgot what we did over here with these walls, we're going to clone a section and kind of get the size right that we're wanting for these walls. So as for width, I'm thinking that is going to be pretty nice. So let's clone this out. I'm also going to stack this so it is like a squarical. I don't know what I'm saying, dude. There we go. That is perfect. Now we're also going to stack it up a bit higher, you know, to where we want the height of the walls, I guess. So maybe about there, I'm thinking. Now, what we do is get the old box select tool. We're not going to cut it. We're going to copy it. Okay, now let's try again. Custom clipboard. Bang. Oh, look at that. So we just start clicking around and we're going to get these big, beautiful walls that easily. Like, how good is that, man? Now, I do want to make sure that we keep these walls nice and smooth. I don't know. Like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this, man. I think for starters, let's just delete what we've just done. We're going to grab the script brush tool again, clear foliage, and we're going to get rid of a whole bunch more of this, okay? Man, this is already huge. Like, this is already too big for what I have planned, but I mean, we'll figure it out, I guess. All right, back to the path tool. So I think I want it to connect right on the corner of this tower. So let's select that point. We're going to move that in there like so. Now, let's start drawing our walls. Dude, I'm super excited for this bit. Getting like the shape of this is going to be so much fun. Lower the old FOV here so we can see a bit better. And I'm thinking just getting like a circle kind of around here is going to hopefully work pretty well. I feel like we went a little bit too wide over on this side, so I'm just going to refine this up a bit, and I will be back. All right, I'm thinking that is looking pretty good. Let's press enter and confirm that, and holy crap, dude, look at that. That is awesome. Oh my god, that's huge though. Jesus Christ. Let's just go down and walk it kind of ground level here. Jesus, that is massive. I hate to say it, but it's just, it's massive, you know? Now, of course, we're going to need an entrance to this, and I'm thinking right here. And an easy way that we can do that, once again, we're going to grab the shape tool here. Let's set this to a cylinder, paste that down. We're going to rotate it this way, make it a bit taller, and then we're going to chuck this in. We're going to make it a bit higher as well. Set this over to air, and then press enter, and there's a big entrance. We obviously need to fix this up, so give me a second. Okay, and there's our entrance all fixed up. Now, what we definitely need to do with these walls is add a bunch more of these towers kind of dotted along, just for a bit of structure. So let's grab our tower thing here, and what I actually might do is get this at a good height. Then I'm going to drag it over here, paste it in, and then actually, you know, fill up the rest of this. And let's paste this in right next to the gate there. We want to make sure we have it halfway in the wall like that. So let's paste a copy. And then we're going to move this over to this side and paste another copy there. And how is that looking? Oh yeah, that's so cool, dude. And now I'm just going to dot these around the place along the walls. All right, and that is looking pretty good. Holy crap, dude. All right, and after this, I just got straight back into expanding our congealed mass of buildings, this one actually being separate from the rest. To make it, I copied some existing buildings and pasted them down and stacked the roof and windows to fix up the gaps. And to finish up, I added black concrete behind the windows and a big arch between here. All right, and this is where we're at right now. It's coming along pretty freaking nicely, man. I really do like this separated building that we've got going on here. It actually turned out really cool. The way that I copied it, I essentially had like a little bit of like this stone structure and a little bit here, and then that gave me the idea to add like a big arch in the middle here, maybe for like a pass through for a pathway. I mean, definitely we're going to be doing that. Oh, what the hell is a big stinking gap here? What the hell? Okay, we got to fix that up. Stack tool the bloody rescue, mate. Liam has found my guitar and he's probably going to play it. You like that? All right, well, I just got a pretty cool idea for our next building, which might actually be another tower, but I want to change it up a little bit. Let's get our tower in here and paste him in right about there, I'm thinking. We're actually going to put this probably up to about there. Or maybe actually we can add this on top of this existing building like this. That would be pretty cool. Have it like in there. All right, but yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let's paste that in, and we're of course going to have to fix up the walls here. So give me a second, I'm going to get all of this figured out. Okay, there's the tower all fixed up and looking sweet. What I actually want to do with this next is add like a wooden roof on here, just for like a different kind of looking tower, because we do have a lot of the same tower around the place here, and it's getting a little bit repetitive. So once again, we're going to head up to the shape tool. We're going to select the pyramid here. We're also going to try and find exactly the middle point of this to save us some freaking hassle. Then we can increase the height. We can change the pivot here to the base, and that way we kind of like scale it up from the bottom, not the middle. And there we go. That's how we can get a quick and easy like roof like that. Now the only annoying thing is like, that's as detailed as a pyramid we can get, I think. We kind of need to add the details ourselves after the fact. Oh, actually, look at that. There's a cone. There is a cone. That actually might be the exact shape that I'm looking for here. Okay, and then we're going to lower the height. Oh, dude, that might be perfect right there. And yeah, dude, let's paste that in. I think that's like what we're wanting right there. That's like essentially the exact thing I was gonna do to what we had to make it look better. All right, well, that's that building completed. Now it is time to figure out, you know, how to expand from here, how to keep the kind of chain of houses going. So first of all, I'm thinking we could probably add another roof here and get like a normal kind of ground level house added in. So to do that, what we could do, we could copy this entire house that we have here, and this could actually work pretty well. So let's get all of that copied, and then we're going to rotate it and paste it on over here and just see how this looks. Maybe like out a bit further to like there, and we can kind of stack it down. This is probably the hardest part for me, is like trying to find a nice way to combine all these houses together. It's actually pretty difficult. Oh, okay, actually, I've got an even better idea. What if we use these houses up here instead for something a bit more interesting? Yeah, dude, that looks way more interesting. Let's paste that in. We're gonna have to do quite a bit of fixing up here. We got a lot of roofs and stuff kind of intersecting these, but dude, that is like perfect. And well, from here, I think what I'm gonna do is just, you know, probably another big time lapse of just adding in the rest of all these houses and figuring out where I'm going to kind of, you know, add more on and get this entire area filled up with houses. So, let's get to it. All right, so continuing on, I finished up this house we were working on before, along with getting another tower added beside it and a couple more large houses spread about. I then felt like we needed some chimneys up in here, so I got those added, along with pasting in some medieval house designs I'd made previously and scattering them around in some blank spots. Now onto the pathway, I snaked this around the entire kingdom to connect up every house. And now for some trees, which definitely elevated the entire kingdom so much it's kinda crazy. All right, we're just down here at my Gothic city, just kind of taking in the sights. And it's just because, you know, while I'm building, you don't really realize the size of of the thing. It's kind of ridiculous. Look at how big that is. That's just like, I think I went too crazy with this. Like the sheer size of that compared to everything else. Like obviously this city in scale is bigger, maybe, but just the size of the actual buildings. Like if we come down here and just kind of walk at street level, look at this, dude. Like everything's barely moving. It's that big, but dude, it looks so nice down here as well, especially with all the trees added in. And well, I think that's where I reveal the fact that this build, it's only halfway done, okay? You know, I'm planning on making a second video here, like part 2, essentially, where we surround this thing. I don't know exactly with what, like all kinds of farms and towns and cities and stuff. I just want to make this like an absolutely gargantuan build. Like this is already huge. It's gonna become okay, settle down. It's gonna become gargantuan, okay? But yeah, as always, if you want to download the creative world that, you know, we've created so far here, with all of the different cities, and of course the new one that we've just created, be sure to check out my Patreon, as the download will be up over there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.